Hi, my name is Kamlesh, and today I'm going to give a talk on our paper, Split Easy, a practical approach for training ML models on mobile devices. This is a joint work I did with Vivek, Moin, and Dimitris, and our paper will be appearing at the ACM Hot Mobile Workshop. So, what was the motivation behind doing this work? So, as you can see in this image, there are quite a number of devices. A Raspberry Pi, which you can consider as an edge device, and a low-end mobile phone to a high-end mobile phone, and then a GPU. So when we take a common deep learning models, most of them are easily able to run on a GPU. But then when you take these four devices, they are not easily able to run on them. And when we want to bring machine learning from research to production level systems, this causes a big problem because most of these mobile phones are the production level systems where we want our models to run. A few initial work has been on reducing the size of the model such that they are able to run on mobile devices. Models such as MobileNet and SqueezeNet have been a very popular ones that are easily used for running on mobile devices. And as you can see in the graph here of the top one accuracy on ImageNet versus the number of operations, MobileNet and SqueezeNet reduce the number of operations compared to the larger models by nearly 10 times. But the problem is that they have accuracy of only around 70%. This is not bad, it's a decent performance, but then still it's not up to the level of the larger counterparts, which have a more than 80% performance. And this requires, brings the need for finding more techniques that will not let us compromise on the performance, while at the same time it will keep the number of operations low on the device. And this is where split learning comes as a solution. But however, I would say split learning is a near perfect solution for this problem. It's not a perfect solution because there are still some problems with split learning that we need to solve before we can say that split learning is a perfect solution. And this is what we try to do using Split Easy. Split Easy is a framework which you can easily use to integrate in your applications, especially on mobile devices, so that users can experience split learning on real time. And this is one of the first such frameworks to do this on mobile devices. And while developing a framework, we faced quite a number of problems, but the main one was with automatic differentiation. So automatic differentiation is the algorithm which is used to run our neural networks. It works by creating a graph of the variables and the operations in the neural network, and during the forward pass, it goes from top to bottom, and the backward pass it goes from the bottom to the top of this graph. But then in split learning, as you know, we cut the network between the mobile and the server. And because of this, there's a discontinuity in the graph. And this discontinuity makes this part of the network not know what is going on here. So what it essentially means is that the gradients will not be able to travel from here to here. And because for the gradients to travel, it needs to know what is going on at the final. That is the loss here, so that the gradients are appropriately sent to the weights. And for this, we many papers have proposed a solution, but those solutions work on a single language like Python or only in a single device. And they didn't work when we actually took a mobile device that was using JavaScript and a server that was using Python. And we try to integrate the solution into our solution into Split Easy. And basically, what our solution does is, and before I go and explain our solution, let me give a small overview of the notation. So let us consider the first split A, split B, the second one is split B and split C. Split A and split C are on the mobile device and split B is on the server. We use a two split setting because that is the most common use case scenario. Because this protects the privacy of the user by keeping both the input and the target on the mobile device. So these are the activations of each of the layers of the network, and these are the weights respectively. The update equation for the weights are given here. I'm not going too much deep into the theory because the time is less, but you can read more about this on a paper. So the first update equation is zt is equal to zt minus 1 minus eta dou L by dou zt minus 1. So this is based on the loss L for the final term. This loss L can be a cross entropy loss or a mean square loss. And eta is a learning rate. So this can be done normally because split C is on the mobile device and loss L is here. But then when we go to this split and the update equation for W, we find this part dou L by dou Wt minus 1. And this is the one that is difficult to compute because W is not aware of the loss L. because of this discontinuity. And we need to somehow make uh, ensure the normal training process despite this. And for this, what we do is that we add a new loss function to split A and split B. Essentially, what we are trying to do here is that we want split A and split B to reduce their own loss, find the own optimal solution for their output A and C respectively. And in this manner, we will be able to find a global minima for both these networks such that still the final loss L is reduced. And the loss function L is basically C hat minus C, the whole square, which is a mean square loss. And the C hat is C plus dou L by dou C. So what this basically means is that the target for model B is to find the output C plus the gradient of output C with respect to the loss L. And this gradient, we can derive it from the final mobile device and send it over the network. Although this adds a further communication cost, this seems to be the only way for us to actually create a solution that will enable us to update the weights of V and W. And similarly, we do this for the weight U. And as you can see here, I'm not explaining this theory. When we substitute the loss LB in the update equation of WT, we are able to get the final update equation similar to the one when we use a normal loss L. And by this way, in this manner, by adding a new loss L, we are still able to replicate the normal training process for W. So the theory worked out, but then we still needed to empirically check it, and we used VGG and DenseNet on the CIFAR dataset to check whether the normal training process and the modified training process gave similar results. And as you can see here, the test accuracy was a number of epochs. The normal and the modified training process seem to follow a similar curves. So the modification which we did not affect the training process in any way. Then the next experiments which we did was on the device, that is an iPhone XR. And we did this using the ImageNet dataset. So the first experiment was to run all the common networks that was available, and we reported the time that is required to run a batch versus the number of parameters. So here I want to make an important point as to why we are using time and not other metrics such as flops that are being reported by other papers. Because flops being low is very obvious. We know that when you offload most of the compute to the server, the number of flops is going to be less on your mobile device. But then the time is not necessarily will not necessarily be less, because the time depends upon number of factors. It depends upon your device. It depends upon the communication, whether you are using more optimized algorithms, etc. So reporting the time required to run a batch is a more better metric to see whether your algorithm works properly rather than just the flops. And as you can see here, despite the number of parameters increasing by twice or thrice, the time required to run a batch remains within zero point 0.5 seconds. This is because most of the specialized layers of the network are in the server, and the mobile has a common set of layers. That is, most of these models have a common convolution and max pooling layers, which are in the mobile device, which leads to this common runtime. So the runtime here is only dependent upon the communication and then the number of layers that's present on the mobile device. And this naturally brings the question: where do we cut the network? And we did a case study with Inception ResNet V2. And as you can see, in the case of Inception ResNet V2, it has a few convolution layers followed by a max pooling layers and a few convolution layer followed by max pooling layer. And when we cut the network after the final max pooling layer, the time required is low. This is because the size of the data is very reduces by nearly 4 times after the final max pooling. But then when we cut it after the first max pooling layer, it increases and so on. This is because the data size will be more, so the communication time increases. Why are we still reporting this? Because this seems like a very obvious fact. So what we want to say here is that some mobile devices will not be able to run even 3 layers of convolution in their device. So in those cases, the application developer needs to make a choice, and this can be done algorithmically based on the network device's network speed and its computation available to choose a location where to split the network. And we want everyone to be aware of this algorithm choice, which they can take while developing a split level solution. And then the final one is, does the location of your server matter? This is an interesting study which we did. And as you can see, in the case of a home network, the time record is less. And in the home network, home server situation, the server and the mobile network are mobile device are in the same network. And AWS, as you know, has many lot of regions, so the time taken will be similar irrespective of where you are in the world. And the special case of a university server, since the university server was private, was in a private network, we had to use a proxy network, and since the proxy network increased the distance for the data to travel, the time taken also increased. As you can see, there is a linear increase in the time taken depending upon your server choice. And this is what we request most of the papers to do. Please report the location of the server so that it becomes clear as to whether there's any actual progress in your algorithm, or it is because you did a few hacks of keeping the server in the same network that your time was low. And by doing this, we can keep track of progress in split learning algorithms. And once we are able to do this, we can then slowly come to a perfect solution for split learning. Because the main problem in split learning, as we have seen in these slides, is the communication. Once we are able to reduce the communication time, split learning will be a perfect solution, much better than designing models tailored for mobile devices. And that's what we wanted to do with split easy, and we have written a lot about this on a paper which you can check it on archive or on the STM website. Thank you and have a nice day.